All right, let's dive in. Today we're taking a deep dive into this video you sent us,
Right?
How to Become Financially Free in Your 20s by Tam Carr.
Right.
And we're going to see what nuggets of wisdom we could pull out, for your situation,
Yeah.
even if you're not in your 20s. I think there's always something to learn from someone tackling financial freedom.
Absolutely. I think Kaur's video is a really great starting point for anyone looking to improve their, financial well-being.
Yeah.
And one of the things that really struck me was just how much she emphasizes the importance of mindset.
Right. Like right off the bat, she introduces these two characters,
Yeah.
Lola and Athena,
Yeah.
to illustrate the difference between what she calls the rich girl mindset and the poor girl mindset.
Yeah.
And I have to admit, like when I was watching it, I was kind of like, ooh, which one am I more like?
Yeah.
You know?
I think it's such a clever way to kind of highlight how our beliefs about money can really influence our financial decisions. So you've got Lola, who's very much all about scarcity.
Yeah.
Always trying to cut corners and save every penny.
Right.
And then you have Athena, who has this abundance mindset.
Yeah.
She invests in herself, invests in her growth.
Yeah. And she uses really vivid examples, like Lola's living on ramen noodles and skipping Starbucks.
Right.
Whereas Athena is like prioritizing healthy food and seeing the value in spending money on things like courses and personal development.
Yeah, and it's fascinating how these mindsets can almost become like self-fulfilling prophecies.
Oh, totally.
If you're constantly telling yourself you can't afford something,
Yeah.
you're more likely to make choices that kind of reinforce that belief.
Yeah. It makes me think about like how I even talk about money.
Sure.
Like do I focus on what I lack?
Yeah.
Or am I, looking for opportunities to create abundance?
That's such a great question to ask yourself.
Yeah.
And it actually ties into Kaur's next point, which is about saving. She kind of makes this bold statement that money sitting in a savings account is basically wasted.
Yeah, I was going to
Yeah.
say, that one kind of caught my attention too, because
Right.
we're always told to save, save, save,
Yes. Right.
So what's she getting at here?
I think she's talking about the impact of inflation.
Okay.
While saving is important, it's really crucial to understand that the value of money decreases over time
Yeah.
due to rising prices. So for example, let's say you have £1,000 in a savings account with a 1% interest rate.
Okay.
Inflation is currently around 3%, so that means the real value of your money is actually decreasing by 2% each year.
So even though you're technically earning interest,
Yes.
you're actually losing purchasing power over time.
Exactly. And that's why Kaur really emphasizes the importance of making your money work for you.
Okay.
And one of the ways she suggests doing that is through passive income.
Oh, yeah. This is where the video got really interesting for me. She just throws out all these ideas.
Yeah.
Creating online courses, starting an e-commerce business, investing in rental properties.
Right.
She even mentions this app called Honeygain,
Mm-hmm.
which lets you earn money by just sharing your internet bandwidth.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild.
It's a really good illustration of how the landscape of work is changing.
Yeah.
More and more people are looking for ways to diversify their income streams and create kind of financial freedom outside of a traditional 9 to 5.
For sure.
But I think it's also important to note that
Yeah.
Code does acknowledge that passive income is not like a magic bullet. You
Yeah.
still need to put in the effort. You need to learn new skills and you need to be willing to take risks.
Yeah. It's not just going to like fall in your lap.
Exactly.
You got to hustle.
You gotta hustle. And it seems like she's also really big on the idea of investing,
Yes.
not just for retirement, but as a way to grow your wealth in the present.
Yeah. She emphasizes starting early and harnessing the power of what's called compound interest.
Which is essentially earning interest on your interest.
Okay.
So imagine you invest £100 today
Okay.
and you earn a 5% return.
Got it.
Next year, you'll have £105.
Okay.
But the following year, you're going to earn interest not only on that original £100,
Right.
but also on the £5 you earned in interest the previous year.
Oh, wow.
So over time, this compounding effect can lead to, really significant growth.
She uses this amazing example of investing just a few £100s a month in your 20s
Yeah.
and how it could potentially lead to becoming a millionaire by retirement.
It's a compelling illustration, but it's also important to remember that investing does always carry some level of risk.
Right. Of course, it's not as simple as throwing money at the stock market and hoping for the best.
Exactly.
So Carr really stresses the importance of financial literacy.
That's where those book recommendations come in.
Yeah. She mentions Rich Dad, Poor Dad, which honestly I've heard of, but I haven't actually read yet.
It's a classic for a reason. Robert Kiyosaki, he really challenges traditional financial advice and encourages readers to think differently about money.
Oh, interesting.
He emphasizes the importance of financial education,
Okay.
building assets,
Yeah.
and just understanding how money works.
Okay, so that's Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Yeah.
What else is on the list?
She also mentions Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill,
Oh, yeah, another classic.
another classic.
Yeah.
And this one is all about the power of mindset and belief.
Okay.
Hill really argues that our thoughts create our reality,
Mm-hmm.
and that by focusing on success and abundance, we can actually attract wealth into our lives.
Interesting.
It's a very powerful concept.
Okay, so we've got Rich Dad, Poor Dad. We've got Think and Grow Rich.
Yeah.
Any others?
2 more on the list, The 4-Hour Workweek and Girls That Invest.
I'm sensing a theme here.
Right.
She seems to be a big advocate for building wealth outside of the traditional 9 to 5.
Definitely.
Okay, so the 4-Hour Workweek, what's that about?
So The 4-Hour Workweek is by Tim Ferriss, and he promotes the idea of designing a lifestyle that allows you to work less and live more.
Sign me up.
Right. He advocates for things like outsourcing, automation, and creating businesses that can generate passive income.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's about kind of breaking free from that traditional model of work.
Yeah, I like it.
And then the last one, Girls That Invest, is by Simran Kaur.
Okay.
And this one is all about empowering women to take control of their finances and build wealth through investing.
I love that.
It's a really great resource for women who are looking to kind of take that next step in their financial journey.
And I think it's great that she's recommending resources that cater to a diverse audience.
Absolutely. Financial literacy is essential for everyone.
For sure. Yeah, regardless of gender, age, or background.
Exactly.
And she doesn't just stop at books, though. She also talks about seeking guidance from financial advisors.
Yeah, which I think is really important.
Yeah, for sure. Especially if you're dealing with, like, complex financial situations.
Right.
Or making significant investment decisions. Having a professional in your corner can be so valuable.
Absolutely. It can provide that guidance and peace of mind.
Yeah, totally. I'm starting to feel a little overwhelmed, though.
It can be a lot, right?
Where do you even begin with all of this?
I think Kaur suggests starting with a mindset shift.
Okay.
It's about reframing your relationship with money
Right.
and ditching any kind of negative self-talk that might be holding you back.
I like that.
Yeah.
She also encourages us to embrace credit cards responsibly,
Yes.
which seems a little counterintuitive.
It does go against conventional wisdom, right?
Yeah.
But she argues that using credit cards strategically can actually help you build your credit score and even earn rewards.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, she actually recommends a specific card, the American Express.
Oh, okay.
American Express cards are known for their really generous rewards programs,
Got it.
which can include things like cash back, travel points, and even exclusive discounts.
Okay, so how do you use them responsibly and avoid falling into debt?
The key is to pay off your balance in full every month.
Makes sense.
That way you're taking advantage of the perks without accruing any interest charges.
This is all really thought-provoking. I'm already starting to rethink some of my own financial habits.
Yeah, it's really eye-opening.
What about you? What's resonating with you so far?
I think one of Kaur's points that really resonated with me is the idea of living below your means.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
It's not about deprivation,
Yeah.
but rather about making conscious choices that align with your long-term goals.
Yeah, I can see how that ties back to the whole Lola versus Athena thing.
Exactly.
You know, Lola's so focused on scarcity
Yeah.
that she's constantly depriving herself.
Mm.
Whereas Athena understands that sometimes you need to invest in yourself
Right.
to reach your goals.
Exactly. And Kaur uses a great example from her own life. When she was a broke university student,
Okay.
she resisted the temptation to buy the latest gadgets and clothes.
Yeah.
Instead, she saved up for the equipment she needed to launch her YouTube channel.
Which obviously turned out to be a pretty good investment.
Right. So it highlights that living below your means doesn't have to mean sacrificing your enjoyment of life.
Yeah.
It's about making strategic choices
I like that.
that allow you to invest in your future self.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So besides credit cards and living below your means, what other practical tips does she offer?
Well, she talks about the importance of budgeting
Right.
and having a plan for your money.
Okay.
She suggests, figuring out what percentage of your income you're going to allocate to things like your pension, stocks, and if you're in the UK, an ISA.
Hold on. For those of us not in the UK, can you explain what an ISA is?
Of course.
Right.
ISA stands for Individual Savings Account.
Okay.
And it's basically a type of savings account where the interest you earn is tax-free.
Oh, wow.
So it's a great way to grow your savings without having to worry about paying taxes on the gains.
That's a pretty sweet deal.
It is.
So back to budgeting. I have to admit, I'm not the best at sticking to a budget.
Mm-hmm.
Any tips on how to actually make it work?
Well, Coworker recommends an app called Snoop,
The Snoop, okay.
which can help you track your spending and identify areas where you might be able to save a little bit.
Okay.
There are tons of other budgeting apps out there as well.
Right.
The key is finding one that works for you and using it consistently.
Yeah, tracking expenses can be eye-opening.
Oh, yeah.
I remember doing that once and realizing I was spending way more on takeout coffee than I thought.
It's those small everyday expenses that can really add up over time.
Totally, totally.
Cower also suggests finding a good accountant, especially if you're self-employed or running a business.
Well, that's a good idea.
Yeah, they can help you make sure you're taking advantage of all the tax deductions and stuff like that.
Yeah, that sounds like a smart move.
Mm-hmm.
So we've covered mindset, saving, passive income, investing, budgeting.
It's a lot.
Is there anything else we should be taking away from this video?
Yeah. I think one really important thing that Cower emphasizes is the importance of your circle.
Okay.
Surrounding yourself with positive and ambitious people.
Right, like your community.
Exactly. She calls them the happy and lucky people.
Interesting.
And she argues that the people you spend time with can really have a big impact on your mindset and your success.
I've heard that before. Something about being the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with.
That's the idea, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not about being judgmental or excluding people. It's
Yeah.
about being mindful of the energy and influences you're allowing into your life.
Yeah, makes sense if you're constantly surrounded by people who are negative and complaining about money.
Right.
It's going to be hard to stay positive and focused on your own goals.
Exactly. And on that note, Carr also talks about the power of language
Okay.
and how the way we talk about money can actually shape our reality.
Oh, interesting.
So she encourages us to reframe those "I can't afford it" statements
Right.
into "How can I afford this?"
Oh, that's a really interesting point.
It's like flipping the script from scarcity to possibility.
Yeah, instead of immediately shutting down opportunities, you're inviting your brain to problem solve
Right?
and come up with creative solutions.
Yeah.
I'm starting to see a pattern here.
Yeah.
A lot of Power's advice is about shifting your perspective and challenging those limiting beliefs that might be holding you back.
It's about taking ownership of your financial future
Yeah.
and believing that you have the power to create the life that you want.
Okay, so let's say you're ready to take action. Where do you start?
Right.
What are some concrete steps you can take today
Yeah.
to start moving towards financial freedom?
I think one thing that's important to remember is that financial freedom, it's a journey,
Yeah.
not a destination.
Okay.
It's about taking those small, consistent steps that kind of move you in the right direction.
So for a listener out there, what's one small step they could take this week
Okay.
that would make a real difference?
Well, it could be something as simple as setting up a budget. Okay.
Or downloading one of those budgeting apps that we talked about earlier.
Yeah. Or maybe finally opening that investment account you've been putting off.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Even just committing to reading one of those books that Cal recommended would be a great step. Rich Dad, Poor Dad is a good one to
No.
start with if you're looking for a new perspective on money.
Cool.
Yeah.
And if you're feeling really ambitious,
Yeah.
maybe you could brainstorm some passive income ideas
Right.
or research different investment options.
Exactly. The key is to find something that aligns with your interests and your skills,
Yeah.
and that feels exciting to you.
I love that Cower ends her video with a set of affirmations.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a reminder to stay positive
Mhm.
and focused on your goals.
Affirmations can be such a powerful tool
Yeah.
for shifting your mindset and creating that self-fulfilling prophecy of success.
It's so easy to get caught up in negative self-talk,
Oh, absolutely.
especially when it comes to finances.
Especially when it comes to money. So I think those affirmations are a great way to counteract those negative thoughts
Yeah.
and replace them with empowering beliefs.
It's about choosing to focus on abundance rather than scarcity.
Totally.
And remembering that you have the power to create the financial future you desire.
This deep dive has been so insightful.
It has been really interesting.
I feel like I've learned so much, not just about personal finance, but also just about the power of mindset
Yeah.
and the importance of taking control of your own financial well-being.
Absolutely.
What about you? What's been your biggest takeaway from Cower's video?
I think for me, it's just that reminder that financial freedom is accessible
Yeah.
to anyone who's willing to put in the effort and make conscious choices.
Totally.
It's not about luck or privilege.
Right.
It's about taking ownership
Yeah.
and making your money work for you.
I couldn't agree more so as we wrap up this deep dive. I
Okay.
want to leave you with this thought.
Right.
What's one action,
Mm-hmm.
big or small, that you can take today
Okay.
to start putting these principles into practice?
Mm-hmm.
Could it be finally setting up that investment account,
Yeah.
researching a passive income idea,
Mm-hmm.
or simply committing to tracking your expenses for a week?
It all starts somewhere.
Exactly. And remember, even small steps,
Yeah.
taken consistently,
Right.
can lead to significant progress over time.
Absolutely.
Your financial future is in your hands.
It is.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into financial freedom.
Yes, thank you.
Until next time, keep learning, keep exploring, and keep striving for your goals. We're rooting for you.
It feels like Coward has really given us this whole toolkit, to
Yeah.
start building a better relationship with money.
It can be kind of overwhelming, though, right? Knowing
Yeah.
where to start.
Yeah, for sure. It's true. There's a lot to digest here.
Right.
But I think it's important to remember that, financial freedom,
Yeah.
it's a journey, not a destination.
Okay.
And it's about, just taking those small, consistent steps. Yeah.
Move you in the right direction.
So what's one small step our listener could take this week that
Huh?
would make a real difference?
Well, it could be something as simple as setting up a budget
Okay.
or downloading one of those budgeting apps that we talked about earlier.
Yeah. Or maybe finally opening that investment account
Yeah.
you've been putting off.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Even just committing to reading one of those books that Cower recommended
Uh-huh.
would be a great step.
Yeah.
Rich Dad, Poor Dad is a good one
Right?
if you're looking for a new perspective on money.
Yeah. And if you're feeling really ambitious,
Yeah.
maybe brainstorm some passive income ideas
Right.
or research different investment options.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The key is to find something that really aligns with your interests and your skills,
Yeah.
and that feels exciting to you.
I love that she ends the video with a set of affirmations.
Oh, yeah, those are good.
Like just a reminder to stay positive,
Mhm.
focused on your goals. Affirmations are such a powerful tool for shifting your mindset. Yeah. And creating that self-fulfilling prophecy of success.
It's so easy to get caught up in negative self-talk,
Oh, absolutely.
especially when it comes to finances.
It's so easy to get down on yourself
Yeah.
when it comes to money.
So I think those affirmations are such a great way to counteract those negative thoughts
Mm-hmm.
and replace them with empowering beliefs.
It's about choosing to focus on abundance rather than scarcity.
Right.
And remembering that you have the power to create the financial future that you desire.
This deep dive has been so insightful.
It really has.
I feel like I've learned so much, not just about personal finance,
Yeah.
but also just about the power of mindset.
Right.
And, the importance of taking control of your own financial well-being.
It's really empowering.
Yeah. What about you? What's been your biggest takeaway from Cower's video?
I think for me, it's just that reminder that financial freedom is accessible
Yeah,
to anyone who's willing to put in the effort and make conscious choices.
totally.
It's not about luck or privilege. It's about taking ownership
Yeah.
and making your money work for you.
I couldn't agree more. So as we wrap up this deep dive,
Okay.
I want to leave you with this thought.
All right.
What's one action, big or small, that you can take today
Mm-hmm.
to start putting these principles into practice?
Yeah.
Could it be finally setting up that investment account,
Mm-hmm.
researching a passive income idea,
Yeah.
or simply committing to tracking your expenses for a week?
You got it.
Remember, even small steps taken consistently can lead to significant progress over time.
Absolutely.
Your financial future is in your hands.
It is.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into financial freedom.
Yes. Thank you.
Until next time, keep learning, keep exploring, and keep striving for your goals. We're rooting for you.